influence people.
Becoming
there you go, maybe. Hi, Mona.
Thank you. All right, ready? Let's hit it with some amazing guests on this Real Raw Ecosystem Merger Mastery Monday. Let's unlock some of the superpower of influence and take us in, Vivian.
We have been from South Africa, Andre Cillier, or Cillier. Andre moved to Hilton Head.
You got it right.
He moved to Hilton Head, South Carolina in 1994 with a goal of investing and flipping properties. Thereafter, he became VP at Exit Realty Metro, and today he's on a mission to recruit 100 agents. He also happens to be an award-winning international film producer, so welcome, Andre.
Thank you very much.
Andre, thank you so much for being here today. How's everything going with you, sir?
Doing great, thank you very much, Sean.
Yeah, and how about a fun fact?
Fun fact, oh gosh. A million years ago, it was one of the top highest paying models male models in South Africa. How's that?
Andre, can you do the real?
It's not real.
Can you do the Real Raw today shirtless for the ladies out there?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
How about a see-through, nice international male model type of shirt?
No, those days are gone. Those days are gone.
Well,
did you do a peck dance? Did you do a peck dance?
Let's do a peck dance, ladies.
Yeah. We have gone into, Andre, we call this Unblinded After Dark, led by Vivian and Bella. But Vivian, back to you. We'll come back to this amazing gentleman in a little bit.
We have Shelly Roth in the house. Whoop, whoop. She's in from Livingston, New Jersey. Armed with a degree in journalism from Penn U, Shelly Roth went on to work on Wall Street and on to become president at IR Partners for nearly 30 years. Today, she continues to work as mentor coach and helps others excel in written, oral, and presentation skills. So welcome, Shelly Roth.
Thank you.
Shelly, the Penn Quakers are in the building. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, it was Penn State, actually.
Oh, Penn State. So the Nittany Lions are in the building.
Nittany Lions, yeah.
Amazing.
I'm not the best football fan in the whole world, but I managed to get called into Penn State because my journalism degree became a communications degree over the years as they changed. And I had a really neat career, and they called me in to try and undo the damage from the Sandusky affair. There was no such thing. But anyway.
Extraordinary. And I want to lean into anything controversial if you don't feel like discussing it. But I read many accounts on that scenario, including Malcolm Gladwell's Talking to Strangers. He has an entire section on it. Have you ever read Malcolm Gladwell's work on it?
I read him. I read all of his work if I can.
Yeah, he had an entire section about the Sandusky dynamic, and he actually had great empathy for at least certain of the people there and how we default to truth.
I have tremendous empathy because, frankly, I knew Joe Paterno when he was a young assistant coach and then became coach as I went through the years, and I knew him over the years because I was a pretty heavy contributor to the scholarship funds. And one of the things I got were dinners with him. And he's just a very pure, but a very old guy who didn't really see the world the way, I'm not that young, but the way people who are younger see it. And he fell for it, and he did some wrong things that I don't think he realized what he was getting into. I really don't believe.
And I certainly don't present any expertise on the situation other than just citing Malcolm Gladwell's take in Talking to Strangers, which was akin to some outrageous scenarios like the Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme, the Sandusky situation, and I forget the name of the physician that had done horrific things to so many.
Oh yeah, with the gymnasts, yeah.
Correct, and he analyzes how parents were in the room in some of those situations, and how we, as Malcolm Gladwell referred to it, default to truth in certain scenarios where we're just like, yeah, it can't be that. And so longer story for a different day, but I had some work where I was the first person to turn in a Ponzi scheme in South Florida that raised $1 billion with a B dollars. And he would have been the Attorney General of Florida if one of the presidential elections, the last few, went a different way. And this gentleman bought the birthday cakes and a governor's birthday candles on a governor's birthday cake. So the world is interesting. It's extraordinary. It's complex. And that's part of what we're doing here, Shelley, on The Real Raw, is unpacking the scenarios of human influence and how it works with integrity and hopefully spotting when not. So for you, Shelley, how about what's a fun fact for today?
Well, I said this the last time, but this is a different group, so I'll say it again. My birthday is on January 20th, and for my entire life, except when I was a little one, I told everybody I was 25% less old because somebody took my birthday away every 4 years. This year, I'm just wishing. This year, I'm just wishing for peace, nonviolence, and some resolution to our very difficult problems.
Number 1, happy birthday, Eve. Number 2, beautiful sentiments. And number 3, my birthday is 4 days later. So happy January birthday.
Happy birthday to you too.
Thank you. Vivian, we got some judges for Shelley and Andre. Andre, does he have his shirt off yet, by the way, Vivian?
Do I have what?
Does Andre have his shirt off yet or not yet?
Nope.
No, not yet. I was hoping for
That is not what she heard about shirt offs and like brainwriting and shirts off. You've got Vivian all confused.
I do see it as a button up though. You could maybe unbutton.
No, it's staying there.
I
I was 40 years younger, maybe.
We have in from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Amy Scragg in the house. Nodding a lot when you were talking about the last story you were talking about. A mass tort acquisition strategist at Broughton Partners. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's correct.
Yeah. Here, Amy seeks to end corporate negligence and connects law firms with qualified claimants who are seeking legal representation after suffering an injury or injustice. A few years ago, Amy lived in Rwanda, and this ignited a passion to help impoverished kids build confidence through sports. So welcome, Amy. And I know you were nodding to the tipping point. So
Hey, Amy, welcome, and thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. Also, fun fact, I connected with your partner, Hala, and I love her, and she has such an amazing spirit. So yeah, you work with cool people.
And so, Amy, what am I hearing? Well, thank you so much. Am I hearing that you're sort of like a modern day Erin Brockovich?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm like the modern day Amy Scragg.
But what I think I understand what you do for a living. You want to share with everybody what the beautiful sentiment of mass tort aggregation means?
Yeah, so I collaborate with firms, personal injury firms, mass tort firms, and I assist them in either building or diversifying their dockets in the mass tort space. So I help connect them with qualified claimants who have been wronged by corporate negligence. And, you know, my dad was taken away from corporate negligence. And so I have a very high burning passion to be involved in this space. I'm a little bit too much of an empath to actually be an attorney. And I know so many people tell me that's such a beautiful thing, but you know, I fell in love with the marketing space. I absolutely love what I do. I couldn't, you know, see myself going to law school at this point in my life. But this is kind of what I'm relishing in, and this is what I'm growing in. So yeah, and it's a vehicle for me to develop my, you know, nonprofits in helping build confidence and inspire kids that live in poverty through sports and developing their emotional intelligence that way. So that's what I'm doing.
Up to big things in the world. And what's your connection to sport?
I grew up being an athlete, did 10 years of volleyball, did downhill ski racing.
Wow.
When I tore my rotator cuff, I got involved in bodybuilding and bikini modeling, which is kind of
another one.
I was saying, you are so beautiful. You look like a model. So this is great.
Thank you. But yeah, which kind of led me down the path into digital marketing, which led me down the path to going to Rwanda, which threw me into, weirdly enough, the legal marketing space. So it kind of was like a full circle. I have a very unique and that's a weird
Amy, the story of digital marketing leads to Rwanda, leads to the American legal world. That does not sound like a straight.
Yeah.
I know it's not a straight path at all. It's not a straight path at all. It's very interesting though, but yes, not straight path.
Well, thank you so much for being here today, and we'll have some fun today. So thanks.
Thanks for letting me share. Thank you.
Thank you. Vivian, we got some judges to go from like Rwanda to legal pathways to like South African models, gentlemen taking off their shirts. Like,
To gold chain wearing Antonio Fratalone from Staten Island. Whoop, whoop.
Antonio.
Sean, it's a pleasure.
Pleasure, brother. So what do we got, Vivian?
He's an insurance agent at Insurance Today Services, also known as the Protections Specialist. Antonio was looking to protect his family from financial solutions for his own. And he went on to interview 46 financial advisors and insurance agents before deciding that he too wanted to get licensed and do his own planning.
Wow.
He knows the power of connecting people to help them win. So he offers a spectrum of services from tax planning to educational workshops to help entrepreneurs achieve their dreams. So welcome, Antonio.
Thank you. I
Antonio,
haven't.
what's up, brother? How are you doing?
Any better, I'd be twins, Sean.
And what's your
Doing well,
fun
thank
fact?
you.
What's your fun fact?
Well, it's not as fun as being a supermodel, but I am a Marvel fanatic, and every Halloween, just about, I make my family dress up as superheroes.
And what have you been in the past?
We've been the Avengers, we've been Guardians of the Galaxy, we've been X-Men. I think I sent you guys some pictures.
Wow. Brother, that is
Fun.
absolutely awesome.
So cool.
And I deeply appreciate the work that you do. It's complex, it's important, and it's something I think that is wildly misunderstood. And its appreciation is overwhelmingly underestimated. So thank you for doing what you do. And I love the Marvel dynamics. I'm a DC guy myself, but I
knew
haven't.
it. I knew
What was
it.
that?
I knew it.
Yes. So how did you know it? What resonated DC?
I don't know. I just kind of look like Green Lantern a little bit.
Actually, I don't know if I'm going to rip like every part out, but so this wall, I got it. I'm pulling it out. Okay. So yes, this is up on the wall. So first, to go with Amy, I'm so sorry for the loss that you suffered in your family. Those skis are my Uncle Jimmy. He was tragically killed in a truck accident, rear-ended from behind years ago, and that's the centerpiece of this wall. But this piece is also the DC world of Batman.
Nice.
Yes. So it's there. All right. So Antonio, thank you very much for being here today, my friend. And let's keep rocking this thing. So we got some amazing people to go with the AA, Amy and Antonio. Who is our third judge, Vivian?
I have in from Denver, Colorado, Gavin Kelly.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Gavin went from working at a Habitat for Humanity to restore cleaning and selling used toilets to becoming a top real estate advisor at Renters Warehouse. In fact, he's a #1 top producing agent in the country with Renters Warehouse. Gavin's passion is to help investors fund their retirements, fund their children's education, and have families have a secure home. So welcome, Gavin.
Thanks for having me.
Gavin, thanks for being here. This is an
Thank you.
extraordinary group today. So Gavin, what is your fun fact, my friend?
So fun fact is when I was in college, I was in a competition called the Gaucho Games where all the athletes came together, and I won the burrito eating contest. Thought I cheated because everybody was so much bigger than me. That's a fun fact.
And did you play a sport in college?
Yeah, I was an athlete. I was a Division I swimmer at UC Santa Barbara.
Nice, big time in California. That's awesome, man. Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
We have athletes, we have models, we have top salespeople, we have like everything going on here today. Unpacking what, Vivian?
I said a burrito competitor eating person.
That's right.
Like this is an eclectic Renaissance group of humans. That's what I'm seeing. So who says there's problems in the world? We have people like this here today. Let's go, Vivian. We got one more amazing rock star.
We sure do. With just a wonderful, colorful history. The sales sorceress in the house, Bella Verita. Well, she went from selling cute little things on her front lawn and making money to nefarious stuff later on that she'll share later. And she built a multiple 7-figure real estate company, becoming the #1 business broker in the state of Nevada. She places more women salespeople than anyone else in the country at Align Sales, where she happens to be, CEO. Welcome, Bella.
Why, thank you, Vivian.
Bella Verita, how are you?
I'm extraordinary, Sean Kelly. How the heck are you?
I am extraordinary. Are you ever not extraordinary, Bella?
Every once in a while, but not that often.
Okay. And your fun fact for today.
My fun fact for today is I am pretty sure I am better at all things than Sean Callaghan is. I'm pretty sure I'm better at like wrestling, and like I'm pretty sure I'm like better at winning bets, and I'm pretty sure that I'm a better coach. And like, we're gonna have to like start like measuring this somehow. Although I don't know that I've created like more millionaires in an organization like you have, because like I know that's a thing for you. You like to like, help business owners create millionaires with inside their organizations. But like I'm putting out a challenge that like the people that I'm coaching with Unblinded are gonna have better results than the people that Sean Callaghan is coaching in Unblinded. Can that be a fun fact?
That would be a very fun fact. And Vivian, that would be actually the plan. And Bella just doesn't understand that. So this is perfectly how Integrous Influence works to set up scaling and transitional dynamics amazingly. But shh, Vivian, don't tell Bella.
I won't tell Bella, but I will tell all of you who Sean Callaghan is. In just the last 5 years, Sean Callaghan went from one of America's top trial attorneys to achieve 2 top 100 national jury verdicts to becoming one of the top influencers in the world who appears on national TV. He then became chief visionary officer at Unblinded Sales Mastery, created this experiential platform that you're all here to do, AKA The Real Raw, to showcase the formula that he's been curating for the past 23 years. So what is The Real Raw? This shared experience where you're invited to step onto the stage, grab the mic, share your authentic self with the hotbed of talent that's in front of you. And your aim is to align your purpose with others in an organic way in order to form ecosystems. And just like that, you create more money in less time and make boatloads of money in the process. Sean?
Bella, how extraordinary is Vivian?
Vivian is extraordinary, but what I think is more extraordinary is that like we got a hotbed. Like that just sounds sexy. Like, when you get to come on the Unblinded Real Raw, like you're getting in the hotbed with a lot of folks.
Yes, Bella Verita, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. So yes, we are a talent hotbed, the talent hotbed of influence in the world, and we're going to rock it today. So Vivian.
You sound pretty cool also. Like this Sean Callaghan guy, like I feel like I want to kind of get to know him a bit. Are you going to show us a few things today? Are we going to learn a thing or two today?
I don't know. I think there's 5 amazing rock stars that are going to teach us a thing or two, but we'll see if we could pull out a magic trick at some point. And Vivian, you're extraordinary. You are amazing. And you are the person that makes this go right from Jump Street. And we are more than 400 Real Raws in since the beginning of COVID. And Vivian, you have been the leader of the vast, vast majority of those. So thank you. We are here, and it's only just the beginning of the beginning, but it has begun. So love you and thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I also love the new venture and the innovation that you're taking it onto Clubhouse and all of that fun stuff. I got a chance to take a listen and hear everything yesterday, a little bit here and there for a couple of hours. So I want you to know that I really love your leadership and how you really want to get the formula to be known in every which way possible and how you disseminate all that difficult information and simplify it for us. So thank you.
Wow, thank you. Have a great day and let's have some fun. We got rock stars. Bella, are you ready?
Let's do this.
Who's going first?
Let's go with Andre today.
Andre, is his shirt still on?
His shirt is still on, and I think he's ready for the hotbed.
All right. Andre, are you ready, my friend?
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to go from hello to yes with Bella. This is not Boiler Room. It is not Wolf of Wall Street. This is an integrous influence in a heart-centered way. We've been having some fun and connecting a bit. And now it's like, how do you go from hello to yes with integrity? And of course, integrity in hello to yes is always rooted on mutual value exchange. So Andre, Bella could be anybody that you wanted her to be. She could be herself. She could be an ideal client avatar. She could be any specific person in the world. Oh my, she could be like Joe Biden today or Donald Trump. I'm sure they're having some interesting thoughts this day.
Oh boy.
And it's all about going from hello to yes with whatever matters to you in the world. So Andre, who would you like Bella to be?
Wow. Yeah. As you said, it's a curveball, huh? Bella, I'd like you to be Boris Johnson.
Bella, you are Boris Johnson. Belle, would you like Andre to explain who Boris Johnson is?
I would like Andre to explain who this is.
He's the
What
Premier
do I
of
need to
England.
know? Huh?
Yeah.
He's the Prime Minister of England.
Who's going through a whole bunch of things right now with
Exactly.
Brexit things.
And that's why I asked the question, because we have our politics going on here. Every country's in certain different amounts of turmoil because of COVID. He's got a additional thing going on because Britain has just extricated itself from Europe.
Yes. So there's like the pulling out from the European Union.
Yeah.
That stake. So it's like, should we stay a part of Europe or not? Bella, have fun and lean in and be.
These are not the kind of things that we talk about at the tequila bar.
But it's like, should we stay a part of Europe or not? And just lean into your most fun energy. And this is going to be amazing. I know it is.
Okay.
So, yes. So Andre, Bella's ready. Boris is ready. And it's going to be 6 minutes cut in half, judges, at 3 minutes and 3 minutes in round one for Andre and Amy. The question's going to be, are they opening up the listening of Boris and whomever Amy wants Bella to be? And are they connecting a heart-to-heart level so they are, quote, congruently unique? So Bella wants to hear like more in round two. Like, where is that on a scale of 1 to 10 is what you're going to give 30 seconds of feedback for each of these fine people in the next round. But we are ready. So Boris has got a limited amount of time. He's like ready for a conversation. Andre, please take us in.
Sure. So Boris, here's my big question is, in addition to coping with COVID and your countries had to go into an extra lockdown right now, you have to renegotiate your trade agreement with America, because before your trade was dictated by Europe. How do you think England should trade with America?
How do I think England should trade with America? Well, quite frankly, I believe that like Americans have all everything. Like, I think if we could trade with Americans, like, we'll be richer. And you know what, I'll go even here is, to me, I think trade is about how can we service and support each other. And I think if we continue to trade with America, it's going to make America better and it's going to make us better.
I happen to agree with that. I think that England and America should open their trade routes, and they should trade freely like they used to do in the old days before England became part of America, because I think we have such a great long history together.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And it's we can go further together.
Mm-hmm. So do we just carry on talking about this topic? Is that how it goes, or could we switch direction?
Yeah, you go wherever you want to with it.
Okay. So a lot of people have compared you to Donald Trump because you are very strong and you're opinionated and you don't suffer fools. And do you think that's a fair comparison?
I definitely don't think that it's fair. I think Mr. President Trump is arrogant and self-centered and full of himself. And I just believe that I am certain, I am knowledgeable, and I want to serve the people.
Okay, yeah, because some of your critics would say that you are all those same things. But I think when you put it the way you just put it, that's a nuanced view, that you have strong opinions and you stand up and you don't. So I think I like that answer.
I think there's a difference between having strong opinions and degrading people or like putting people down. I think you can have strong opinions and you can be certain in areas without having to take others down or put others down or make other people look like fools.
I think that's a very valid point. I think that we find too often that people in position of power don't lead with empathy. And I think you can have all the strongest opinions in the world, and but if you treat everyone else around you with empathy, it goes a lot further than being the other, being arrogant and self-centered.
I agree. Hey, Andre, I gotta take a quick call right now, and I will call you back in 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Andre, that was fun. That is our first for having Boris make an appearance. Donald Trump has been here. So that was amazing. So appreciate that in round one. And let's get to Amy. Amy, who would you like Bella to be?
Amy is a judge. It is Shelly.
Shelly. Forgive me. Yes. Shelly, who would you like Amy? I'm sorry. Shelly, who would you like Bella to be?
Did you have some tequila before the show started, Sean?
Just one half of one shot. Thank you very
Have
much.
one shot. Okay. All right, Shelley.
I'd like you to be a superintendent of schools
Okay.
in a town that has a ton of controversy between hybrid learning and the difficulties of sending kids to school in the midst of COVID.
Okay.
And I would like you to hold a town council meeting to which I, as a tutor, as opposed to a teacher, have been invited to ask questions and to answer questions.
Okay. So I'm leading a town hall meeting, or you're wanting me to attend a town?
I would like you to be leading the town hall meeting to try and get some answers for which works best for whom.
Okay. Okay. I think
All right. Ready, Bella?
Yep.
All right. Take us in.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Thank you all for coming. And Shelley, I understand that you have some questions.
Yes, I do. I understand that you're very short of teachers because of the COVID experience, teachers who feel they can't come to school, who are not adapting very well to the hybrid mix, and as most especially to the online mix, because they've been teaching in traditional ways. And I'd like to know what I, as a tutor, and what I've learned could do for you and the town in teaching people to get a better education for their kids in these trying times.
So you're wanting to, so the question you'd like me to answer is, how can you be of support for where the students are today?
Support for the students, support for the teachers as well. I'm
Okay.
not looking just to make money at this. I'm looking to make it a better experience, because I've worked with so many parents who are just frustrated and they don't know where to turn. And
Yeah, well, I
like
think
this
our
system to
big,
have-
yeah. So our biggest challenge is, with COVID is this hybrid learning situation where, we have kids coming in some days, we have kids, staying at home some days, and, and the parents are tired, they're overworked, and, they don't, some of them, quite frankly, don't have the even quite the education that their kids are getting. And so they don't actually know how to help them. They don't actually know the answers to the problems yet. Like, they're the ones that are required to teach them. And so there's definitely, our biggest concern right now is the education of our students. And are they getting the proper education at home? Are they getting the proper support that they need at home?
What kind of support systems would you like to see that helps the parent? Obviously, your teachers understand how to teach, but the parent doesn't often.
Yep.
And libraries are closed. It's a difficult time. So what could you give to the parents that would help?
Yeah, I think, I think, however, maybe, if we can provide some curriculum for them that helps them support. I understand that you're a tutor, so I'm imagining, we want to head this conversation down in a direction where, there might be an opportunity for you as a tutor to be able to support them. So maybe that's a conversation that we can continue. I've got to take a quick call right now, but maybe we can continue this conversation in 3 or 4 minutes.
Thank you very much. That's very helpful.
Yes.
All right. Very nice work, Shelley. Appreciate that. How did that feel for you, Shelley?
I didn't hear your question.
Yeah, I said, how did that feel for you, that first round?
It felt okay. Maybe I asked the wrong questions. I didn't feel like I was trying to get across a more broad picture than just me as a tutor. And therefore, I think I didn't do very well.
Yeah. Listen, you have round 2 coming up. I thought you did a very fine job. So let's hear what the judges have to say. So let's begin with Amy. Amy, what do you have for Andre? 15 seconds on what worked, 15 seconds what could be optimized, a score on a scale of 1 to 10. Amy.
Andre, I really like how you painted a picture for Bella in regards to, what's going on over in England and what could be the beneficial factors of opening our trades with one another. I think you also allowed her to connect on an emotional part when you brought up Donald Trump, and allowed her to kind of explore, you know, what her take was on people comparing him to Donald Trump.
And your score is?
My score is, I'm going to give you about a 7.8.
Nice. I love when the tenths get in like between the zeros and fives. Excellent. And what did you have for Shelly, please?
Shelly, I kind of disagree with you. I think you brought in a lot of passion to your argument, and you really can tell that you have empathy and sympathy for what teachers and parents and kids are going through in this time, and you really want to be that helping hand. So I think, you know, you did a great job in that aspect. I think if, you know, the superintendent was actually listening to you, she could hear your heart in it. So I give you an 8.7.
Wow, thank you.
Love the feedback. Antonio, brother, you're out there influencing folks all over the place in the space of their finances and insurance. What do you have for Andre?
Andre, I wasn't sure what the purpose of the call was. And the way you asked the questions was great. And anytime anybody brings up Donald Trump, it's always a good time. So I'm going to give you an extra point for that and give you a 6, only because, like I said, I wasn't sure where the conversation was supposed to go.
Okay. And how about for Shelly?
For Shelly, I knew the intent of the phone call. I thought that the content of the call was great. Could have been a little bit more energetic. I saw that Bella, kind of brought out, what is the purpose of this call? You're calling me to discuss this. And she kind of gave that to you and tried to lead you there, which was awesome on her part. But all in all, it was great for round 1, Sean.
All right, very nice. Thank you, Antonio. Yes, and we have our final judge, Gavin. Gavin, what do you have?
You know, I liked both of them. They were very good. I really liked Andre's. You know, I've dealt with people from South Africa in business. It could be a cultural thing that, you know, there's an objective to achieve, and the starting out to achieving that objective may be creating rapport. And I really liked the rapport that he created with the judge. What I will say is that I really like the direction. You know, I saw, you know, some people may think that he didn't have objection at hand, but he created rapport, and then
your score is?
And I really like the way the ideas were presented. And when people discuss ideas, it really opens them up to a really heart-to-heart kind of conversation. And it was an idea of what is important in leadership. And I really like that part of the conversation. I'm going to give him an 8.4.
Nice. And what'd you have for Shelly, Gavin?
So with Shelly, what I really liked about Shelly was that she started off and she told them that, hey, she's not out there to sell her services. She's there to find a solution. It was clear and evident, you know, what the conversation was about. And the end of the conversation started going towards, this is going to be a solution that I think, you know, it basically made the superintendent think, hey, Shelly's got a good solution here. I'm going to give her an 8.3.
Nice. Excellent job, Gavin. So thank you, Gavin, Antonio, Amy, for that. And excellent work, Andre. Shelly, we're ready for round 2. Bella, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, we're going to reverse the order. Shelly's leading us off. Shelly, Bella's back. Let's rock.
Okay, Bella, this time I'd like you to be a parent of a child who's just plain failing in virtual education. Not a child who failed in previous courses.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Yep.
And mostly he or she is failing because he or she feels that the child is getting no support from parent or teacher or friends.
Okay.
And I'd like you to interview me as to what I could do.
All right, let's take us in.
So are we doing a reverse role play?
No, you'll just be like, pick it up with maybe from
Did you want me to continue? I didn't realize. Did you want me to continue with the same person?
No, we go this way. So Shelly,
But I guess as you said, I'm interviewing you.
So go with this. So Shelly,
you're the parent interviewing me. Yes.
With Shelly, what's happening is you've gotten to the point where you've rapport has been built, Bella. Let's go from there.
Okay.
And now it's time for like Shelly to deliver her HUI and take you to agreement. Good?
Okay, got it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Take us in.
Thank you. Hi, Shelly. Thank you so much for meeting with me. Our son has been having a very challenging time, and we just don't have the resources as far as to understand like the work. And so, tell me a little bit about what it is that you do and how you might be able to support our son.
Well, first, I'd like to ask you a couple questions about your son.
Okay.
I'd like most of all for you to describe to me where he's having the challenges in all subjects or in specific ones. And is he trying to do the work and not succeeding at it, or is he running from the work out of fear?
He's trying at the work and not succeeding and getting really frustrated, upset, cries, throws a tantrum, throws pens, these kinds of things.
Tell me about his success before all this happened.
Yeah, when we were in school and, I think when he, had friends and, there was like energy around, I could see that he would do, much better and that, the teachers were super supportive. But I think being in this home environment, with COVID is, I think he's, just lonely and acting out and frustrated because he doesn't the work and we don't understand the work. So, and we don't know.
Have you discussed with him the possibility of a tutor helping him out?
We have not yet, no. So if you have suggestions on how to talk about that, I'm open to that.
Okay, because my experience is that when children do suddenly poorly, whether it's this COVID situation or it's another situation in school, often it's a loss of confidence. The child feels like everybody knows I can't do it, so I'm not going to try. And my basic philosophy, in addition to teaching, obviously, is to build on that self-confidence, to build if the child is writing a report or doing a large vocabulary list or doing a research project, to build on the points that the child is getting really right from the beginning and keep encouraging him to go further until we complete the project, and the project itself is a very well completed project. So the issue is not, you haven't learned this and I'm going to come in and teach you. The issue is, let's find out if we can make it more appealing to you.
Got it. Well, I have about 20 seconds. So do you want to tell me, kind of your thoughts on how we could work together?
How we can work better? I think that we can start out by having a 3 or 4, if you'd like the father involved, way conversation with your son as to what is really the challenge. And then perhaps your son and I could have a test session together for which I won't charge you. And we can discover whether or not your son and I are a match, because no tutor is going to succeed unless there is a certain amount of confidence between the student and the tutor, as well as the feeling that we can communicate easily with each other.
Got it.
And after that, we can decide whether or not it's worthwhile going ahead.
Okay, perfect. That sounds good. I've got to run right now, but I'd like to explore this further.
Very nice work, Shelly. How did that round feel for you?
It felt a little better.
Yeah, nice work. We'll talk
Great
about
job.
It's more in my wheelhouse.
Nice. We'll share in a couple. Andre, is your shirt still on, my friend?
Yes, it is, sir.
Yes, because we've neglected to
You
share.
don't want to scare everybody away. So
Yes,
this is
my
day
fun
one.
fact, which is that I'm actually blind. So I'm unable to detect that fact, but I'm feeling that you are shirted. Yes, I was feeling that. So excellent. And Boris is back, and Boris has his shirt on as well. So this is like perfect. So you ready for round 2?
I'm round 2, but I'd like to change from Boris.
Yes, who are we going with?
Yes, I'm going with you are the police chief of a city where city council is trying to defund and reimagine your police force.
Ooh, look at this. Andre's leaning into big issues.
Oh, this is serious. Whoa.
Okay,
So I'm living in Minneapolis, and that's what's going on here right now. So
At least I have handcuffs in this role play.
No.
So
Uh-oh.
Bella is in what role? She is the police commissioner?
Chief of police. Yeah,
Chief of
So
police.
if you're making Bella Verita the chief of police, Andre,
there
this
we
is
go.
unprecedented, sacrilegious.
I had a suspicion this would be the complete opposite.
Please take us in.
Okay, so Bella, what do you feel is the best solution with seeing that city councils trying to defund your department and reimagine your department? What do you think the best solution is?
I believe the best solution is for me to learn a formula to go from hello to yes so that I can re-enroll the commissioner in why it's important for us to have the funding for the police department such that we can protect our citizens.
Okay, so I hear you saying that the funding, I think that maybe it goes beyond funding, and I think that's part of the problem is that the people are saying defund the police. I think that it's a reorganization of the police force that is required in a city like yours. Would you agree with that?
I can definitely see your point of that in reorganization, and our top priority is protecting the citizens, to serve and protect.
Yeah. So, and I think maybe part of what has happened is that the serve part of the serve and protect, some police officers are maybe not following that part. And I think that maybe the threshold for entry has got a little low. It hasn't been critical enough. So people have been getting into the police department who don't have the right headspace, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
So I think rather my feeling is rather than just defund the police, maybe we need to better educate, better train, and get police reintegrated in the society, in the communities where they serve.
Yes, I definitely see where you're coming in this point of view. And, there was a period that we didn't have a lot of applicants in the police department. So, there was a time where we did, I don't like to say lower our standards, but looked at more applicants, we'll say. And if we can definitely figure out a way to enroll and entice more people to apply, then we can be stricter with our application rules for sure.
Okay. And what do you think about police in each community mirroring the people in that community in terms of racial makeup, age makeup?
Say that question again.
There's some calls to have the police. So sometimes police live outside of the community they serve in, so they don't necessarily mirror that community. Do you think it's a good concept to try and have the police serving to actually mirror the community they're working in?
I think I personally believe that it is better that they aren't working in the communities that they are in, so that there's not conflicts of interest and things like that.
Okay, great. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. That's excellent work. Bella, how did you like being a police chief?
That it was super fun.
Excellent. Andre, how are you?
Better for me this time around than the first one. Felt much more comfortable now, knew what was going on a bit more.
Absolutely extraordinary. So how about we do this? Because by the way, we are on Clubhouse and experimenting with what that looks like. And so, yes, Shelly, would it be okay if I was you for just a couple of minutes?
Of course.
Yes. And how about Shelly? Would you like to be Mary, who's the mom of a child, like you said, that's struggling in virtual school, that was not having these challenges before? How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay.
So I'm the parent?
You're the parent. Yep. So we're gonna do your scenario, and I'll be you, and you will be the parent like Bella was. Good?
I'm really looking for help, but I don't know the right questions to ask, and I don't know what kind of help to expect.
Yeah. Well, Mary, first of all, thanks for being here. And I can imagine how heavy it is on your heart to have Tommy. It is Tommy, right? Your son?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To have Tommy struggling in school, especially during this time of Corona, this transition, and knowing that everything was going so well before. So before we get into any of that, how are you guys doing? I know there's this challenge, but how are you feeling? How are you coping? What's present for you, Mary?
Well, my feeling is that he's getting more confident about what he can do.
Okay.
And that's a slow process. Just because I'm more confident today or he's more confident today, it's not going to might deliver a great quiz score tomorrow, but it's not going to deliver a well-rounded scholarship child right away. And I feel that he's done really very well and he's been very committed to me. But I'd like to hear from you what you think, because I'm sure you say to him, how's it going? And he says something to you.
Yeah. So what I've heard so far is frustration, withdrawal, pain, upset. And the work that we lean into, Mary, like the work that we lean into is first to transition how a student relates to their work, right? Because all this grade stuff is really the byproduct of secondarily learning systems of study, but primarily a child connecting to their confidence, their certainty, their passion. And that's the work that we lean into. So what I do, Mary, is help students just like Tommy to not only learn the study skills, but to reconnect them with their confidence, their passion, their certainty, little by little, stacking as we go along, so they get back into that place. Because at the end of the day, even with great grades, if a child isn't happy in the learning process, there's going to be challenges. So we lean into that space of really reconnecting them to their heart and their passion and also their skill set. So how does that resonate for you, Mary?
It resonates well. Can you tell me more about whether you do it on a one-on-one basis? Do you do it in a small group basis? Do you work with the teacher? How do you do it?
Yeah, sure. So what we do is a variety of things, but I do believe that individualized tutoring and work is always best. So small group dynamics are present, but when a child is struggling as much as Tommy, when you have that child removed from the group and into a one-on-one, there's a different level of connectivity and openness that can occur for a child. There's an incredible book called The Talent Code that talks about master coaching from every respect and acceleration and how neural connections are built by the wrapping of myelin around those neural connections. And myelin is built through deep practice. But deep practice isn't just the academic components, it's literally learning how to learn more effectively and faster and seeing like the micro distinctions that go on. So we work one-on-one, we work in group, there's testing back and forth, and the child becomes comfortable pushing themselves to the next level of failure and then retreating and realizing that they're going to try again and fail, but fail better. And that's the psyche, that there is no failure, right? It's just learning opportunities as they hit each barrier. And it's my passion. I've been doing this for 30 years. I love students. I love people. And my work in the world is to help kids just like Tommy. So I know we're out of time at this point. If this resonates for you, I'd love to have a session where we work with Tommy, have a preliminary test, connect a little bit longer with Tommy, which is no charge to you, and to see how I resonate with Tommy and how I resonate with you. What are your thoughts, Mary?
I think that's an excellent way to begin, and we can judge with each other how Tommy is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Whether he's open to it or not.
Yeah. Okay. So out of role, how did that feel for you, Shelley?
It feels good. It is exactly what I would expect a parent to say, and exactly how I would try to approach, just as you try to approach. You have some better words than I do.
No, well, thank you. Bella, how did that feel and resonate for you?
It was beautiful and extraordinary. And I feel like you gave Shelley just such an extraordinary gift.
Yeah. And Shelley, that is recorded. So it's right there for you. So thank you for that, Bella. And Bella, let's drop in with the judges, eh?
Let's do it.
All right. Gavin, what do you have? Let's start with Shelley.
So Shelley, so let me look at my notes here for a second here. So I did like the whole interaction, the initial interaction. It felt like you were focusing more on the framing of the work versus the work itself. There was a lot of transparency going on with the interaction you had. I like the fact that you touched on self-confidence, that you were focusing on the child, and you're focusing on being a supportive role and framing of it too. I think that was kind of definitely like heightened by the interaction you had with Sean. As far as the back and forth, Sean really highlighted some things as far as focusing on the child's confidence, on their happiness, and the issues that are involved with, creating some child success. What I did like too is that, Sean brought up some great points in terms of externalities and externalization and the really heart to heart of it all. I think something that you could focus on when you're wanting to market your services too, is the fact that there's no stigmatization going on right now with the tutoring going on. They're not going to get pulled out of the classroom. They can deal with you on a one-on-one basis. The other students won't know about it at all.
And your score for Shelly is?
Yeah, my score is 8.6 for Shelly.
Yeah, beautiful, Gavin. And for Andre?
For Andre, again, I really liked the fact that he was focusing on a idea-based, and he was solution-based, very idea-based, and he asked questions which were fantastic. It was about society and ideas, and it was really touching on the heart of society and ideas. And he didn't need to use certain things that have happened. I'll give Andre a 9.0 on that.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, beautiful feedback. Excellent work, my friend. Antonio. What was that? I'm sorry.
Ila, that was amazing. I really liked the part where you focused on understanding if you were the right fit for the child. In what I do, that's the most important thing to me, is to make sure that I'm the appropriate fit for the client. Most people in my space focus on upside potential. They focus on securities, the stock market. I focus on real estate. So there's other issues that come up for entrepreneurs and people who are in that space, and I'm extremely familiar with those issues. So it's important to me to make sure that I have the right client in front of me that I could actually help them and provide them value. I feel like you did that, so I give you an 8 on that. So great job. Andre, always leading with questions and really getting deeply rooted, getting to their real feelings. Galvin used the word framing, and I feel like you do that very well, where every question you ask really should be asked inside of a frame. And this is something I learned a long time ago, and I still use to this day, because it makes people feel comfortable and it reveals your genuine purpose. And I think you accomplished that on this call. So I'll give you an 8 on this as well.
Nice. And by the way, Antonio, how is today on the Real Raw for you?
Oh, it's amazing. I watch you guys all the time. I have some deeply rooted relationships with a lot of your people, and they're always telling me to come get on here. And, it's always a good time hanging out and, growing. That's what it's about, is just, creating those relationships and growing and seeing where you could really fit in to help somebody. I don't want to talk to anybody or help anybody that I really couldn't or don't have the ability to do so, but I do have those people that can in my pocket, and I always pull them out and connect them. And that's kind of how I built my entire business. So I love the idea of everything you do.
Awesome. Well, thank you, brother. Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. Amy, what do you got for some of these amazing folks? Let's start with Shelly.
So Shelly, I love how you really try to tap in onto like the emotional side of what you do. You can really tell that your passion does shine through for kids, and you can see that in, how you're speaking. I think, when Sean flipped the roles and he pretended, he was in your position, Sean, you did a really great job on hitting all of the 7 C's in communication skills. And, I think, Shelly, if you focus on getting and completing the whole communication package on how, I know we're out of time.
Please.
For your point wise, I give you probably an 8.9. It was much better than your last one. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
And how about for Andre?
For Andre, loved that you started with a question. You could really tell that you were peeling back the onion and getting to the core root of how you wanted to see, the police industry moving forward. You could tell that you really wanted to be a part of that. So again, hitting on the passion note there. And And you could tell that you also know what you're talking about. So I thought that your comprehension of it was really well done. I'm going to give you definitely, I think, 9.2 is
Excellent.
great.
Love the feedback. Love busting out the 7 C's of communication. Very interesting. And the depth of your mastery and study. This is an incredible group today. And how, Amy, was your day in the Real Raw today?
Love the Real Raw. I'm in the Tony Robbins Platinum group, so that's how I got connected to Unblinded, and got connected with your partner Michael, and been working on legally unblinded. I see that connection and relationships in the industry are very vital, and I just see the work that you're doing here, which is really extraordinary. So
Thank you.
yeah, I love being a part of it.
Well, hello, Platt's sister. I did not know that, and I didn't know your connection to Michael either. So thank you so much for being here.
Thanks again.
Awesome. And by the way, Gavin, I skipped the question. How was today for you, sir?
It was fantastic. I really enjoyed being a part of it. Thanks.
Yeah, no, I see the depth of your study and the superpower of influence, and I am present to it. So awesome stuff.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been a great experience.
Thank you. Let's go to Shelly. How was today for you, Shelly?
I think I'm a more laid back person than most of you are. I don't know why, but I am. It's partly my background in having been a communications person. I worked for some very famous people, and the object was to make them shine, not me. And I'm so used to being in the background that I have a hard time being on the stage, so to speak. But it's all very interesting, and I'm really learning from it.
Yeah. Well, you are clearly your wisdom, your heart, and your passion for children and study and doing things for learning in the future. It was present, and we really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you. I appreciate being asked.
Yes, thank you. Andre, my friend, how was today for you?
It was fascinating. I had no idea what I was getting into.
That's what they all say, Andre.
When Shelley invited me to the other session, she didn't tell me much of what it was about, and she said watch the first few minutes of the intro video. So I watched that. And it was just people introducing themselves. I didn't get into the heart of it. And then we were just introducing ourselves, and then I was asked to come join you here. So, but I'm fascinated. I'm absolutely fascinated by this little snippet I've heard. Sean, I love the way I noticed how when you were talking with Shelley, you talked softer and softer and softer, and that made all of us kind of lean in to listen to hear the words you were saying. It's a brilliant technique. You don't often see it. I don't use it. I don't never remember to, but it's a great way. My father was like that. My father was an attorney as well, and he had one of those soft voices, and it's amazing how you can draw people's attention by talking softer and not louder. Yeah. I love the empathy I see and I hear in this room. A little Pete, interest that you on you mentioned Clubhouse. I just recently joined that and been listening to some fascinating people from around the world talking about spirituality and guidance and empathy. And so I look forward to maybe following you there, finding you there. Yeah. But thank you all. Thank you. I really love this. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Really appreciate you. Your empathy and heart are felt deeply, Andre. And we at Unblinded say this is about influencers, influencing influencers, or leaders causing leaders to merge ecosystems to connect. For 1 + 1 = 1 trillion relationships, or at least more than 3, meaning 1 + 1 = a lot more, to make the world an even greater place. And you all helped do that today. Thank you. So Bella Verita, final, what's happening?
Final is I'm assuming that everyone is here because maybe somewhere in your life, maybe you want more money, maybe you want more magic, maybe you want those things in less time. And you know where you can find those? At Unblinded. And you know how? By understanding and knowing the formula. And so if you've heard this language, the formula, how Sean has created millionaires within organizations, how he became a top 100 national jury verdict, how he started a law firm, 26 years old, right out of law school. Like, there is a formula for these outcomes. There's a formula for success. And every Monday night, we share this formula on what is Unblinded, what is the Real Raw. Tonight, we have on Chris Crone. And who else do we have on tonight, Sean?
Yeah, Chris Crone, who stands for, is an 8-figure online salesperson who works about 10 hours a week. He's extraordinary and owns his own convention center. Bella and I have been there. We have Anthony Ortiz, who is partners with Tony Robbins in a venture called Smart Plate. And how do you become partners with Tony Robbins? So Chris stands for how do you work 10 hours a week and have an 8-figure online business in the influencer space? Yeah, that's Anthony. And then we have Kayla Olson, who you introduced to the world of Unblinded and us. Thank you, Bella, of course. And Kayla has booked the biggest stages in the world for years and is going to talk to people about how do you get booked on the largest stages in the world. So that's what's happening tonight.
Yeah, so that is tonight. How to go from hello to yes. What is the formula? So you want to join us tonight, and then you're also going to get a call from somebody on the Unblinded team that is there to support you and how you can have more money in less time with more magic. So definitely, when someone reaches out to the team, you definitely want to have that conversation, and we will see everyone tonight on what is Unblinded, what is the Real Raw.
Yeah. And listen, if this is the end, then thank you for being here and joining us today, everybody, and for watching, even in replay. But let's hope this is just the beginning, because Bella, we are all blind
and just learning to see.
Thanks. Everybody have a great day. Thank you so much.